What if the most elaborate bank heist in history didn't require a single gun pointed at a teller? What if instead you let the government do all the heavy lifting, evacuating an entire city for you, clearing the streets, pulling the cops away, and handing you the perfect window to rob a vault worth tens of millions? That's the twisted genius at the heart of Fuze, the 2025 thriller from director David Mackenzie, the same mind behind Hell or High Water. This isn't just a heist movie, it's a chess match layered inside a ticking clock, wrapped in a war story you never saw coming. Let's break it all down. The setup. A bomb changes everything. The film opens on a London construction site. Workers are digging when they hit something buried deep. An unexploded World War II bomb. Within minutes, Chief Superintendent Zuzana is on the case and Major Will, a decorated but troubled bomb disposal expert, is pulled off the shooting range to assess the situation. One look at the image and he calls it a 1,000-pound World War II-era bomb. He orders an 800-meter exclusion zone. What follows is a beautifully choreographed machinery of authority. Police flood the streets. Residents are knocked out of their homes. Power is cut to the entire area. In what feels like an hour, central London is a ghost town. But while the authorities are consumed by the bomb, a crew of professional thieves is making their move. We meet Keralis, a seasoned criminal with a complicated past, along with his tight-knit team. They've been hiding in a dark apartment inside the evacuation zone the whole time, waiting for exactly this moment. When the last police announcement declares the area clear, they slip down to a basement they've already scouted, fire up a hidden generator, and get to work drilling through the wall of the building next door, which just happens to be a bank. The first half of the film is a masterclass in parallel tension. On one side, Will and his team are sweating over one of the most dangerous objects on Earth. On the other, Keralis and his crew are drilling, welding, and cutting their way into a vault, stopping every time a police car rolls past. Mackenzie cuts between the two with rhythmic precision, the mechanical ticking of the bomb matched against the scraping of drills through concrete. The heist and the twist. Once inside the vault, the team hits the jackpot. Cash, jewelry, gold bars, too heavy to take. And one very special locked box. Inside, uncut diamonds worth a staggering 30 million pounds. Keralis takes them personally, obsessively checking on them throughout the escape, and the escape itself is wildly inventive. The team splits. Keralis and one member fly their loot out on drones disguised as police surveillance drones. Two others descend into the sewers through a manhole disguised as a construction warning. The final team member picks up the drone-delivered loot on a rooftop. They reconvene in a van with fake London Water uniforms and paperwork. And it almost works perfectly. Almost. Here's where the movie delivers its first gut punch twist. When the team reaches a countryside safe house, a new group of men crashes the party, hired by Keralis, the apparent ringleader who orchestrated the whole heist. He's been playing his own crew from the beginning. The diamonds, he reveals, were never just a payday, they were revenge. They belonged to a former employer who once betrayed and nearly destroyed him. Getting them back was deeply personal. But the revenge goes sour fast. Ludo, Keralis' cousin and muscle, gets greedy and demands a bigger cut. An argument spirals out of control, and in the chaos, one of the diamonds is smashed and doesn't shatter the way a real diamond should. Keralis tears open the bag. Every single diamond is fake. The real stones were swapped out. And while Keralis swears he was set up, Ludo isn't buying it. He takes everything and throws Keralis in the trunk of his car. The real mastermind and the ending. This is where Fuze reveals its final and most elegant layer. Because while everyone is chasing Keralis and Keralis, the true architect of the heist has been hiding in plain sight. Rahim, the gentle, helpful son we watched assist his elderly parents down the stairs during the evacuation, is the key. His brother was the night security guard at the construction site. Rahim was the one who let Keralis' crew into the building by handing over the basement keys, pretending not to know their real intentions. And most critically, it was Rahim who intercepted the real diamonds, stashing them in a plant pot on his family's rooftop while everyone else was distracted. And then there's Will, the bomb disposal expert who seemed like a hero. It turns out Will fabricated the anomalies in the bomb's behavior. The malfunctioning clock stopper, the re-ticking, to keep the military and police fully occupied and push the evacuation perimeter tighter. When Martin discovers a tampered chip in the clock stopper, and forensics confirms the bomb was never from World War II, but traced back to the British Army's own supply, the truth unravels. Will, Keralis, and Rahim have been working together all along. The three of them met a decade ago in Afghanistan, where Keralis, then a prisoner of his own criminal employer, helped Will defuse a field of buried explosives that had Will trapped. They saved each other's lives. That bond became the foundation for this elaborate plan. The film ends with the trio in Istanbul selling the real diamonds and splitting the money 3 ways. Will donates most of his share to a charity that clears unexploded ordnance worldwide, a quietly poetic detail. Keralis buys a natural reserve in Africa. Rahim builds a family compound and starts a business, giving his relatives new identities for safety. Zuzana, brilliant as ever, pieces it all together, but just a beat too late. Themes and symbolism. At its core, Fuze is about controlled detonation, not just of bombs, but of systems. Every institution in the film, the army, the police, the city government, is manipulated through its own protocols. Will uses military procedure against itself. The thieves use evacuation policy as a shield. The fake London water van sails through a checkpoint because uniforms and clipboards inspire trust. The film asks, how much of our safety is theater? The bomb itself is rich with symbolism. A relic of war, buried and forgotten, suddenly dangerous again. That's Will's backstory in physical form. He's an unexploded device, someone the system thought was contained, now triggered by the right circumstances. Loyalty and betrayal run through every layer. Keralis betrays his crew. His employer once betrayed him. The army implicitly betrayed Will by covering up the Afghanistan incident. Even Ludo's greed is a betrayal of blood. The only relationship that holds is the unlikely bond between Will, Keralis, and Rahim. 3 men from completely different worlds, united by a single terrible, beautiful moment in a war zone. Immigration and power are handled with real intelligence through Rahim's arc. His explanation of why he handed over the keys, that cooperation is survival for people like his family, is one of the film's most quietly devastating lines. Ending, explanation, and ambiguity. The ending is satisfying but not entirely tidy, which feels intentional. Keralis' former crew is left stranded, leaderless and grieving. One of them is dead. Ludo has the stolen cash and jewels, but the real prize is gone. Keralis is in a trunk with a broken hand. Will boards a private plane and disappears. Keralis bluffs his way past airport security with a fake passport. Rahim walks through the airport with his family's luggage and a hidden fortune. They all make it, but Zuzana knows. She has their faces, their names, their connections. The film leaves open whether justice will eventually catch up, and that ambiguity feels deliberate. These aren't simple villains. The audience has been complicit in rooting for them, and Mackenzie doesn't want to resolve that discomfort cleanly. Trivia and fan theories. A few fascinating details worth noting. The bomb was always fakish. Will didn't plant it. It was a real decommissioned army device. But he manipulated its condition and the readings to engineer maximum chaos. The fact that Martin, his own corporal, is the one who first flags the anomaly makes Will's discomfort throughout their scenes together deeply rewatchable. Rahim's brother is never seen on screen. His role as the night guard, the inside man who gave the crew access to the construction site in the first place, is only revealed through Zuzana's investigation. It's a clean, elegant piece of storytelling economy. The fox. When Keralis is startled by a fox in the alley, and then the police drone follows what turns out to also be the fox, fan theories suggest Mackenzie is using it as a symbol for Keralis himself, an urban predator hiding in plain sight, surviving on instinct, invisible to authority until suddenly he's not. Will pours his drink on the ground. At the celebration with his bomb disposal team, Will pours his drink out rather than drinking it. Some fans read this as guilt. He's celebrating a lie. Others see it as a toast to the dead from Afghanistan. Either way, it's the quietest, most loaded moment in the film. Fuze is a thriller that trusts its audience. It plants every clue early, rewards attention, and delivers twists that feel earned rather than cheap. David Mackenzie has made a film about how systems fail. Not through incompetence, but through being exactly as predictable as they were designed to be. And in that predictability, 3 men found a gap just wide enough to walk through. It's smart, it's tense, and it's one of the best heist films in years. If you haven't seen it yet, this is your sign. And if you have, go back and watch Will's face every time Martin raises a concern. You'll see a man defusing 2 bombs at once.